In early 2005, the Sony Corporation of Japan did something almost unheard of in Japanese business. It appointed a Welsh-born American as head of the Japanese company, along with a new Japanese president. This case explores the reasons for this extraordinary shake-up, which aimed to restore Sony as the world's best performing and most innovative consumer electronics company. The root of the problem, at least in part, was that the company seemed to have lost its innovative flair. Arguably the other part of the problem was that the company was making poor profits, which needed to be corrected over time. Let's look at these two issues in more depth. Innovation has always been at the centre of Sony's strategies. Its early innovations were so valuable that it was able to charge higher prices for its products. But over the years, it became less innovative. And of course, its rivals were able to catch up. Companies like LG and Samsung in Korea, Philips in Europe, and Panasonic in Japan launched products that were either just as innovative or lower priced than Sony. Why did this happen at Sony? The evidence is not entirely clear, but there seem to be two main reasons that made the emergent model more difficult to operate. First, it became more bureaucratic as it became larger. It was not so nimble and lacked customer focus as a result. Second, the increased size meant that the company was no longer well integrated. Different parts did not always coordinate with each other, and work was sometimes duplicated. The second problem related to lower profits. Part of the difficulty here was that it was no longer able to charge a premium because competitors were making similar products. In addition, competition was absolutely fierce in some sectors like televisions and mobile telephones. Moreover, Sony failed to exploit fully its vertical integration strategy from film content through to games machines. However, it was making progress. So what did Sony plan to do about this? By 2011, it was partway through three major strategic initiatives. First, it was outsourcing some manufacture. The strategy here was to ask other major electronics manufacturers to make some of Sony's products, just like Apple had been doing for some years. Second, it was developing new product ranges and further vertical integration to link the company with more innovative products. Its competitive advantages needed to be reinforced and reinvigorated by new cutting-edge products. But of course, the poor economic climate in 2012 was making this more difficult to achieve. Third, it was reorganizing the company. In particular, it was seeking greater coordination across the company through the appointment to the main board of 3 directors responsible not for products like televisions or game machines, but functions like marketing and production. But such reorganizations take time in large companies like Sony.
Unfortunately, these strategies were not enough over the next 2 years. Sony Group was still struggling to make profits in 2014. The former chair and chief executive retired and new leaders were appointed. Further restructuring was required, and some commentators were even talking about breaking up Sony into its individual parts.